In this video, I'm going to walk you through signing into Visual Studio Code when you already have your GitHub account and opening up that repository to edit. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this sign in to sync settings, and my browser is going to open in a different place. Now, if I have not signed into GitHub, I'm going to have to go ahead and sign in there. I'm going to have to authorize. And once I have authorized, I'm going to see that, oh yeah, okay, I am signed in. For me, I'm already managed. So for your first time, it might be a little clunky getting all signed in. Once you are signed in, then you need to be able to go to the Explorer and you're going to open a remote repository. Now, this might take a few extra steps. Let's see, since I've already done this and today, it's going to think that I'm already good to go. So I click on Open Remote Repository, Open from GitHub, and then Allow. And it loads. Now, it looks like, okay, what did I do? Nothing happened. Well, that was simply initializing the request and setting the authorization. So that's cool. Now I'm going to click on Open Remote Repository again. Then I'm going to open repository from GitHub again. And now I should be able to see both my repositories or whatever repositories I have. I started with a fresh one for this video. So here it is. All it has is the README file. Now, if you were able to keep up in class, we also have created an index.html file and your first website folder. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick here just in case you missed it and to kind of give you a look. So I'm going to call this Practical Challenge. Notice that I'm not putting spaces, I'm using dashes, I'm using all lowercase. This is just best practice when it comes to web. Now, once I have a folder, now, as long as I'm selected on this folder, I can make a new file. And all websites, when they start, their homepage has to be index.html. So I'm going to do that now, index.html. Now, you're going to notice that once I put in the index.html, it actually, cool enough, has this little cute, these arrow braces or alligator brackets, however you want to look at it, and that's indicating HTML. Now, if for some reason I put in, watch, so if I don't have the right file extension, then I don't get the cute icon. That's because of Visual Studio Code icons that we set up as an extension. So go ahead and do that index.html and press enter, and boom, now I have a file. Okay, so because we are using Visual Studio Code, we get such great help. We can simply go in and we can do our skeleton code template in one fell swoop. Now, you should be getting practice on this by doing the exercises on the HTML and CSS guidebook, so I'm okay with you just being able to use it here. Now, when you open this, you've still got your Explorer open and it's kind of big. There's a few things you can do to set up your work area. You could go in the middle here and maybe shrink the Explorer area if you still want to see all your files. Or you could just click on the Explorer button and hide it, hide the side panel. And what you're going to notice was I'm looking at this side panel, I have the source control. And right now, the source control is lit up because I have autosave on my computer Visual Studio Code. But what is not automatic are the changes that I'm making to my GitHub repository. So when I'm done with my session, I have to make sure that I'm going to commit those changes. I'll say it again, but for now, let's keep moving on. So one thing that we were going to do, we got our doc type declaration that's telling the browser, hey, this is an HTML page. Now we're going to talk about the actual first element that has to be on all HTML pages, and that's the HTML element. And then it has an attribute, the attributes of this light bluish color, blue-green. And then it has the attribute language with English. Now, because we're in the US, we're going to put a dash US there. That is not only for search engines so that they know that this particular page is going to be in the US, but also for screen readers. It's going to help them pronunciate. I don't think that's the right word, but it's going to help them pronounce the page in a certain way. And the next thing that you're going to do inside the head. Now remember, cranberries, zombies. What's in your head? Okay, so in the head, listen, this is stuff that is not seen, okay? Meaning it's underneath the hood. It's all information and meta tags that are going to be given to the browser so that it constructs the page correctly. One thing, since we are students at a college, one thing we're going to do is make sure that we put in a heading for our paper. Okay, so our paper, aka our code. So I'm going to start with an alligator bracket, arrow bracket, exclamation point, dash, and Visual Studio Code is going to end it for me. And I'm not going to touch anything right now. Okay, I want my cursor there. The cursor is in between those 4 dashes. If I hit enter now on my keyboard, I give myself some space. And now whatever I put in here is not going to be seen on the page no matter what. It's going to be only seen by people who have the source code. I can put it anywhere in the page, and if that good commenting will show up in many places, it's basically a way for us to describe the code that we're doing. But in this case, we're putting it in the head, kind of like the title of our page. I'm going to say this is Practical Challenge 1. And then I'm going to give Mesa, MCC, and I'm going to have the date. Okay. And then I'm going to go down and we're good with the character set. It's saying, hey, this is the type of characters that we were going to use. It's giving us a viewport. You can learn more about that. And in fact, if you want to know more about it, you can always go over, hover over, and you can go to the different MDN documents right here. Wonderful. And then we get to the title. We got to make sure that we change the title. Notice that in between, like, I'm never gonna, just start typing over here. Nope, this is not inside an element. I always want to type somewhere in between the opening and closing tag of an element. So right between here, the document. If I double click, I can highlight the entire thing. And now I'm gonna call this the Practical Challenge. I'm probably going to change that later when I actually have my topic, but this is what I'm going to do for now. And I'm done with my head. That's everything that I need in my head. I am done actually with setting up a skeleton code for my initial, this is like the first time I've ever created a page in my life. That's it. So what I'm going to do, I've already got it saved in Visual Studio Code because I have my autosave on. If you don't have autosave on, you're going to have a dot over here, and you're going to need to make sure to save this code, which is either Command S on Mac or Control S on PC, or you go to File, Save. Not Save As. We don't want to save as again. It's already saved. When we initialize this file by going index.html, enter, that saved it. So don't do that again. It'll add extra extensions. Go to your source control. That's going to pop open. And if you want to see, you can slide this over a little bit. And what this is showing is that, hey, look at all these changes you made. You made a practical challenge. You made an index. All of this was added. So I need to give myself a message of what I'm doing to my repository. Added new project folder and HTML file. And I can get as detailed as I want. This can be really long, okay? Now, once I'm done, I kind of, let's see, I think I can press that button. There we go. I hit the button and that automatically went to that commit and push. And if I don't believe myself that it really worked, I can always go to my GitHub and check it out. Oh, there it is, practical challenge. And then right here, index.html, if I click on it, I get to see my code. I can actually code right here in GitHub, but it's just not very hopeful. Like it's not the same. It's not the same as Visual Studio Code, so you may as well just use it. But here's my file path, right? And this is just like any other website. And crazily enough, we actually are making a website, but I don't want to tell you that yet. It's like a super secret, and I'm excited to share it with you, but not yet. So what you're going to do to actually submit your assignment is simply take the URL here, copy that, and then you're going to paste that into this. Let me pull this over here real quick. Start assignment. And then I changed this to a website URL. So now I can paste that right in there, submit it. And notice, this is my whole GitHub, okay? So submission details, it's my whole GitHub. Okay, it has the link. And so long as you have set your, so long as you have set your repository public, sorry, it took me a minute, then I will be able to grade it and see it there, which is awesome for me, awesome for you. It takes a lot less work than actually like downloading and uploading files. So I hope this makes sense. If for some reason you don't have it set to public, you can go ahead and give it a check over in settings down at the bottom of the page right here in danger zone. It says change repository visibility. The repository is set to public. Boom, done. So you could change the visibility if it was set to private. That's it for the first part of this practical challenge. Now you can get to the next part.